Hello, everybody out there in video land, and hello, everybody out there in radio land. I think I got everything going here. Yeah, looks good to me. All systems go here on Your City, Your Voice. My name is Paul K. Lemire, and we are at Tuesday, January 28th. We're almost out of January. How fantastic is that? Almost out of January. It's Trash Talking Tuesday, and I got a lot to get to, and I got a lot of trash talking to do. And we are in the studios of 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. That's right. So if you're listening from parts unknown, well, you know what? That's where we are. That's where this is coming from live. And of course, for those who are watching video, they'll be watching it just a little bit later in the day by the time I get the video up. And the people listening on 4680Q Internet Radio will be hearing it live. So let's get to the show. First, my sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. That's right. So we look out here. I mean, I woke up this morning. I had to go outside. I shoveled the driveway again. That's like 10 times in the last week. Shoveled the driveway again and got ready for the show. But one thing, my car is running good. I don't break down. I should touch wood because as soon as I say that, you know what's going to happen. That bitter cold gave me a little bit of worry. But the one thing is, I take it in and get it checked out. I'm proactive. That's what you have to do. You got to go to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, talk to Ken Hunter, get your car checked out. He's going to throw it on his diagnostic equipment. He's going to make sure that everything's running A-OK, and you don't have to worry about your car for the winter. You're not going to break down. You're not standing on the side of the road. He's going to check your suspension, your tires, your brakes, your fluids. Take it for a drive. Make sure there's no crazy sounds coming from it, and then get you out the door all happy with your car running A1. And that's what's important this time of year. Now, if you get in a wreck, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because guess what? He's got a full body shop there. Take your car in. They'll fix them up. Get it out the door in showroom condition, so you're going to be very, very happy. Support our sponsor, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, because they support the show. And also, when you're watching the video, please, please, please go down to the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit that button. Hit the thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave a comment. I always talk about comments. And speaking of comments, I'll be talking about them on Thursday's show. I have a few comments from the last couple shows. But I've got so much to talk about today that I'm not going to get the comments today. But Thursday will be comment day, and there's a lot of good comments that come in. But we want more. I think I'm up to 90 subscribers now. Let's get it to 100. The more, the merrier. We want people subscribing, getting involved, because we have elections coming up. 3 elections in the next 2 years. We have the provincial election, snap election called by Ford, and we're going to talk a lot about that. Believe me. You have a snap election by Ford. We have the fall of 2025 Trudeau election for the federal government, if not before. Trudeau's still running the show now. He said he was going to resign when they elect a new leader. They haven't. That's why he's still out there mouthing off and doing crazy things. The sooner we get rid of him, the better. And then we have the municipal election in 2026. So lots coming up. And believe me, I have a lot to say about all of them. I don't pull any punches. I tell it like it is, according to me. And we're going to talk about that too. So I received an email from a listener, and I'm going to read it just as I received it. I cannot confirm if parts of it are true or not, but I think some of it is definitely deserves questions and further investigation. Like I said, I have no way to verify any of it, but the person thought it was important enough to get me to talk about it on air. That was the request. So I'll try to get the person who sent it on air, if they can. I mean, if they want to come in and talk about it, that's fine. I don't think there's a need to after I went through it, but I do want to give the person their time, and this is the email I received from her word for word. Okay. I live on a property that is right beside a municipal parking lot in the city of Niagara Falls that covers the entire south property line of my property. I have tried for years to buy a portion of it from the city. I was notified through an official planning zoning bylaw application that the parking lot was conditionally sold to the University of Niagara Falls, a private university, in a secret meeting of council and staff. No drawings or reports were put forward during the meeting, and it was passed by council. This zoning and official plan amendment will greatly affect my property values and prevent me from developing my property. I tried several times to conduct a meeting with anyone at City Hall, but they refused to meet or listen to my concerns. I was made aware that negotiations were completed in private and several in-camera meetings were held on the topic. During those meetings, the following staff were present: Jason Burgess, the CAO, Serge Filicetti, Director of Economic Development, plus Mayor Jim Diodati and Councilor Mona Patel. Mr. Burgess, Mr. Filicetti, and Mayor Jim Diodati have accepted all expenses paid trip to Asia from the University of Niagara Falls, a private company trying to find students for the university. Furthermore, Mayor Jim Diodati's daughter, Olivia, works at the university, and Councilor Mona Patel's daughter, Era, works at the university. At no time during any of those meetings did any one of the four individuals declare a conflict of interest up to and including the meeting where the approval of the OPA 177 and ZBA 2025 to 2000. What the heck? The snowplow? There's no snow on the road. 2025-005. Bonusing is illegal under the Municipal Act. I have made them aware of the conflicts, and they have not responded back. I am asking for a full investigation of the entire process and ensure that there is no wrongdoing. Now, when the resident sent this to me, it was already sent to the Ontario Ombudsman, hoping to look into exactly what is going on with the University of Niagara Falls, that property that was sold to them, and what went on with the sale when she asked to buy some of the land for her bed and breakfast. And she was at City Hall talking about it. If you watched the meeting, she was there. She was a Chinese lady, spoke Mandarin, and had an interpreter there with her because her English wasn't that good. Now, she claims she went to MPP Wayne Gates and Councillor Lori Lococo, and they will not help her, and went on to say, anything I can do, me, to let the people know about this is much appreciated. Now, like I say, there's a lot in this email that I can't confirm. I've heard a lot of rumors, and I've heard that's all true, but I can't confirm it. I am just reading the email she asked me to send out. So that's the disclaimer here. I'm not an investigative reporter. I haven't investigated any of this. I have no idea where Jim Diodati's daughter works or Mona Patel's daughter works. I have no idea about any of that. I'm just going by what she wrote to me. So, don't kill the messenger. I'm just the messenger here. And she wanted me to get it out there on my radio program. She felt it important enough for me to say it on my radio program. Now, when I saw the council meeting, it appeared that the lady was using the city parking lot as an access point to her parking for her building. She has the building that Dr. McGarry used to run his practice out of. And I'm not talking our generation Dr. McGarry's. I'm talking about way, way before. And it's a beautiful Victorian building, to be honest with you. And she has spent money to fix it up. She used that parking lot as an access point to her property, and that's going to be taken away if they build on it. So it presents a problem for her. As far as the sale of the strip of property, well, I'm not sure of and can't really comment on as to why the city wouldn't work with her. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just reading this email, and from what I saw at City Council meeting that night. Now, I know that the University of Niagara Falls, the Innovation Hub, the mayor, Jason Burgess, are all intimately tied into the web of who knows what, and that an investigation into the whole outfit should be brought down on them. I mean, we did give the Innovation Hub $700,000. They just approved it, and nobody's seen their books. And there's just so many tie-ins from the old, what was it called? Star Innovation Hub or Spark Innovation Hub. And and everything else, and Holdco and Niagara Holding Company, and all these other things. It's a big web, and maybe the investigation is what this lady is looking for. And I have no objection to that. I think it should be all transparent. We should find out exactly where all this money's going, who's running it, and what the tie-ins are between Spark and the New Innovation Hub and the Small Business Center and Jim Diodati and Jason Burgess and anybody else involved in it. So I don't know. I don't know if there's anything fishy going on. I'm just relaying you the email I got from this lady. And the only way to really find out is for an investigation. And maybe the Ontario Ombudsman will order an investigation. Who knows? But anyway, I thought I'd get that out to you because I did get it. And that's the show. That's what I do on my show. I bring things to light. I can't verify any of it because I don't have inside information. If anybody else can verify it, let me know. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe somebody out there knows something. Leave comments. But that's it. What do you think? Leave comments on it. And I hope the lady gets satisfaction if she did try to buy the property and city council just turned her down or whatever, because it was a big deal going down with the University of Niagara Falls. I mean, if that's the case, please make it transparent so that everybody knows and we don't get this thought of something underhanded happening. That's where it comes from when people aren't transparent. So hopefully they get it straightened out. And like I said, I have viewer comments to get to, but I'll get to them on Thursday. We'll do it on Straight Talk Thursday. An interesting story in the review regarding moving the province to get back to the drawing board as far as amalgamation goes. Now, we saw about an hour of time wasted on this at the budget meeting, which was totally ridiculous. Why we're talking about amalgamation at a budget meeting is beyond me, and why the mayor didn't stop this nonsense. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it later on. Is beyond me. But, I mean, this has been on the books for what? They had a referendum 30 years ago about it. Right? And nothing happened. And then Ford came with a big amalgamation plan for Peel and other regions before COVID. Then COVID got in the way and kind of screwed everything up. And, of course, a great excuse for our taxes going up, blame the region. I mean, we've seen our taxes go up almost 23% compounded over the last 4 years. Food prices, utility prices, insurance prices, fuel prices escalate 30 times or more. And it's putting a strain on a lot of families. But the big show, the mayor, Diodati, said, we're overgoverned in the region. And when you have too many cooks in the kitchen, sometimes you have too many ingredients in the soup, and sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. Now, this is from a guy whose last two budgets, hired 57 more employees at City Hall. And all of them are most likely Sunshine List employees. I mean, our city is top heavy. He's talking about the region. How about our city, Jim? I mean, Laurie Lococo tried to get up there and say, we don't need to hire these people, and was shot down. Like Councillor Nodos told you, before you worry about the region, you better get your own house in order, Mr. Mayor. And he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about weeds. But the sentiment is still the same. We sit there and talk about the region being top heavy with politicians and staff when our own city hall is top heavy with staff. Yeah, and of course, councillors, about the same as Diodati. Triple F made a motion to have council ask the province to start the process of amalgamation once again. Okay, we'll see what he says. He's got bigger fish to fry right now. There, Councillor Triple F. He's having a tariff war with the United States. That's what he's concentrating on. Councillor only wasted about a half an hour during the budget meeting talking about this with this guy who got up there, Frank Frank Mamaluca, and had nothing to do with the operations budget. So I don't know why they were allowed to go on about amalgamation, which is just, you know, yeah, it's important maybe, but it had nothing to do with our budget meeting, did it? I don't know why the mayor just didn't tell him, hey, listen, that's for another day. You wanted to get up here and talk about the budget, Mr. DeLuca. Talk about it. You want to go on to something else? You do it at another meeting, not this meeting. At $1,600 an hour, we don't need more time wasters. We got enough sitting around the table. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a Wild West show in that city council chamber. Nobody takes control. Nobody can take control of these meetings. We saw that happen with the Weasel a couple weeks ago there last week, coming in and waving lawsuits and everything else, threatening. Should have been told to buzz off right away. And that took up an hour and a half or so. And then, and now we got this other guy coming in there and taking up. I mean, it's just a waste of money. I mean, you talk about taxpayer dollars. Nobody worries about that. It's more important to get up there and grandstand than it is to save the taxpayers any money, from what I can see. If you want to read more about this, go to the review. Thanks to Ray Spiteri of the Review for the great article on the problem. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's what's happening. That's what we got. Time wasters and grandstanders. People will come in and waste the city council's time. I mean, they just come in and talk about whatever they want. But, it's very selective, city council. We know that because we had Jody Burdett in here yesterday. He's limited to 5 minutes. And now they're trying to even stop him from that. So, I mean, yeah, they decide who they want to talk and who they don't want to talk. And they start the countdown clock on who they don't want to talk. Anybody who wants to talk, the clock runs forever. They never started. Just goes for as long as everybody can get a word in and grandstand and everything else. So over to the Ontario government here. They said they're going to provide $11 million to the region and $4.7 million to the city to reconstruct and widen McLeod Road. Okay. And the project will help facilitate the construction of as many as 8,000 new homes, not to mention 2 new schools and a few proposed and approved subdivisions and high rises. I mean, do they really think that widening McLeod Road and adding 16,000 cars a day or more to the mix will alleviate the problems on that road? I mean, 16,000, I'm probably being conservative. You throw in the tourists and Stan Cho wanting to double tourism in the city. Once he raises that bar and he doubles the 13 million, that's where he wants to go with it. Then, like widening McLeod Road is not going to solve anything. You need another east-west artery. That's what you need to alleviate traffic. You need another east-west artery. Especially, years ago, they closed down Lundy's Lane. We used to be able to exit on Lundy's Lane. Closed that one down, moved everything to McLeod Road. And the next one, east-west, is the Lodestone Road, which is really, really heavily packed with traffic every day. And then we go to Mountain Road. So for the whole city of Niagara Falls, 100,000 people, we have 4 real east-west arteries to carry people around the city. And the growth is on the west side of Niagara Falls, and everybody's coming to the east side of Niagara Falls. So we need better roads. And I think at that McLeod Road, we don't just need to widen it. We need probably a diamond exchange like on Glendale Avenue. We probably need something like that to deal with the QEW traffic, because we get a lot of traffic off the QEW going to the different stores into that end of town, as well as moving east on the McLeod Road to get to the casino, coming north from the Buffalo area and that kind of thing. So we need a diamond exchange there to move traffic faster. It could be expanded. And we need another east-west artery. I don't see widening McLeod Road is going to make a big difference if they leave it as it is. And they also have to do the Tony Baldinelli trick, Councillor Baldinelli, of synchronizing all these stoplights. I mean, you get there, there's like 4 stoplights in 500 feet. Boom, bang, boom, bang. Each side of the QEW. And you got one before that. And then you got one down a little bit. And then one over there. It's ridiculous. They put a speed camera up on there. I don't know how anybody speeds on that road. How can you speed? You can't even get through the traffic. It's a nightmare. I can't even imagine when they start fixing it, but that's what they want to do. They want to spend money on McLeod Road, and of course, I don't think that's going to solve anything. And then we're gonna bulge the city the way they're letting people in to 150,000 in the blink of an eye. They're talking about maybe 2035 or something, or 2050 or something. I think it'll happen a lot sooner than that. The way they're letting people into this country and they're all coming here. I mean, council better get on this and get on it quick and set the whole thing up for future councils. They got to keep their eye on the ball. It's one of the fastest growing areas of the province, along with Niagara Falls and the region itself. So you got to keep a close eye on this, and they got to do the right thing right now, because if they don't, it's going to be a nightmare for years to come, just like Morrison Street in Dorchester is, just like Thoroldstone in Dorchester is. I mean, these are roads that weren't prepared for the future growth of the city, and look what we got there. Nobody wants to go there. I don't know. I stay away from those areas. It's just too busy. It's too crazy. They're not set to handle that kind of traffic. That's all there is to it. Bad planning. We'll see what happens there. Anyway, I want to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and everybody likes a good pizza. Me more than anybody, probably. It's my sedative pizza. When I watch city council meetings, I always have a pizza beside me because I don't want to throw a bottle of beer at the TV. But a piece of pizza, other than making it a little bit greasy, really isn't going to hurt your flat screen. Now, where do I get the pizza from? Pete's Pizza, of course. Where else? Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. These guys know how to make a pizza. Mike was in the restaurant business for 15 years, Italian restaurant. The Mancini family started Pete's Pizza 40 years ago. They used the same recipe for sauce and crust they've always used. And although that's good, Mike takes Saputo mozzarella and mixes it with brick cheese and puts the dough, or the cheese on the pizza in the right ratio with the sauce. So you get the taste of both, and one doesn't overwhelm the other. Hey, there's an art to making a good pizza. These guys know how to do it. But they're not one-trick pony. Great wings, steak subs, steak and cheese poutine. They have a whole whack of stuff on their menu. You're going to like it all. Plus, they're open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturday for your convenience. You can't beat that. And I think they're open till 11 during the week. It's fantastic, their pizza. They run a good shop there. You get a nice fresh pizza delivered to your house with fresh ingredients, or you can just give them a call, 905-374-2222. You can pick it up. You can go to their website, Pete's Pizza Victoria, and order it. Pick it up if you want, or deliver it. Or I think they use Skip and all the other delivery services. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. You got to get one today. Man, oh man, when I think about pizza, I'm happy. Let me put it that way. Pete's Pizza is the one that I go to. Oh, so support our sponsors. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. I forgot to say that. Okay, so let's get on to this lengthy thing I'm going to talk about here. I'm going to give you the straights. That's it. This is the way I think. I don't pull any punches, no matter who it is. Doug Ford is going to call a snap election to get a majority mandate to deal with Trump and the border tariffs he's threatening. Now, right away, to me, that's ridiculous. He's already got a mandate. He's already got a majority. He doesn't need to run an election worth a couple $100 million to get another 4 years. So I don't know what he's up to. But that's what he wants to do, and he's calling the election on February 27th, he said. He's going to announce it tomorrow. Here's the problem. There was no nomination process for a conservative leader in the city. Now we know that the Frito Bandito, Wayne Gates, is going to probably run NDP again. He was the winner for the last 2 or 3 elections, enough to get his pension anyway. And if he runs again, I mean, he's got to be the favorite going in. I don't know why the city does that. It would be better to have somebody from the ruling party, the party that's in power in the province. Whatever. But the Conservatives pulled a Kamala Harris on everybody. They nominated Ruth Ann Newestig as their candidate. No nomination meeting, no nothing. Just appointed her. And this gives me big time agita. When I heard this, I shouldn't be. These politicians. I was disappointed. As a city councilor, she's been a total disappointment for everything. I interviewed all of these people before they ran. Her main concerns were, number one, the budget, and number two, city staff. And what have we seen in the 3 budgets that she's been there? She raised it 7.9%, 4.9%, and 4.9%. She voted for all those raises. So let's do the math here. 8 and 5 is 13, and 5 is 18. A little bit of compounding because we pay tax on tax, of course. So you look at an 18 or 19% increase over 3 years. She's worried about the budget? Hardly. And there's no real recommendations to help the taxpayers. Oh yeah, she got up there last budget meeting last week. Said, I'm going to cut $50,000 off the firefighters' budget. $50,000 off a $30 million budget. Come on, get serious. If that's the best you can do for the taxpayers, why bother? $50,000. We spent 25 grand on a concrete ping pong table. What's $50,000? Hey, it was a joke. Some people just have to say something that for some reason, and then they look ridiculous. And she also voted for the 57 more city staff. So much about city staff to be hired over the last 3 years or so. So that's the 2 big things she wanted to deal with within her first 26 months as a councilor. She's done none of it. So I'm going to send her to Queen's Park. Not only did she raise the budget, she casually added it's only $8 a month more. When people were coming off a time after COVID where a lot of them lost their jobs and a lot of them were facing 30 or 40 or more percent increases on food and gas and utilities and everything else in our world. I mean, a little sympathy for the taxpayers might have helped. It's only $8 a month, and I think that's great for all those amenities we get. Get out of here. Yeah, some people are selling their homes. It's only $8 a month. Well, she learned her lesson. She never made that mistake. Saying she got up last time and asked how much is it a month for everybody? $6 and something, and she never said it's only. You know what? Every one of these little things, it's only a couple dollars. It's only this. You know what they add up to? They add up to you going broke. That's what they add up to. It's only. They should ban those words from any city council meeting. And gets up there and wastes time talking to Frank Del Duca, or whatever his name is, about the thing there, the regional amalgamation. Had no business in that meeting. Another waste of $1,600 an hour. Yeah, that's what it cost us to run a city council meeting with all the staff there. $1,600 an hour, in case you didn't know. Sorry, we have enough spendthrifts sitting in government chairs. And she never even exhibited a big C conservative value that I've ever known. And I just can't support her. I can't vote for her. That's all there is to it. I will not vote for a bad candidate. I mean, listen, I'm not a big Wayne Gates fan. But even the Frito Bandito, who really has done nothing, but he does have experience and a good rapport with Queen's Park and the taxpayers of Niagara. I mean, I can't think of voting for them, holding my nose. I mean, that's not going to happen. And the taxes spend liberals, which was where probably Ruth Ann Newestake belongs, they're not going to get my vote either. So now I'm done. Who am I going to vote for? I can't. I want a good candidate in this city. I don't want to send somebody to Queens Park who's no good. I mean, Wayne Gates. We say that, but I really haven't had a chance to see if he's any good for this city. I can tell you that he does answer his phone because I've called, and he does get on things for you. He will get on things for you, and he does a lot, and a lot of people in the city like him for that. But NDP, I can't vote for socialism. I mean, there's no friggin' way. There's no way. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe hand in my ballot and say I can't vote because there's nobody on this ticket that's on this ballot who's qualified to run anything. So they're not getting my vote. And then somebody asked if only 8 had to step down as a councillor to run, and the answer is no. She won't have to step down. If she loses, she retains her seat at council. If she wins, well, then either Vince Carey or Dan Moody will move into her chair, most likely. But there's no onus on council to appoint either of them. They could appoint anybody they want. Tradition is they bring up the next guy, like Chris Dabrowski came up when Mayor Wayne Thompson stepped down. But that does not have to be the case. So if I was going to make a prediction, I think DeFrito Bandito gets back to Queens Park. I can't. I don't see this candidate being a good one. And when I look at it, I say, well, why would the Conservatives nominate somebody who they think is going to lose? I mean, obviously, like Wayne Gates has beat Bob Gale. He's beat all the big Conservatives in this area. So Ruth Newestake, please, come on. So is this just a sacrificial lamb? Are they just giving her the Bob Dole treatment? Like when they had no candidate to run against Bill Clinton, they knew he was going to win. So they sent Bob Dole there, and he got hammered. I mean, there's no chance he was going to win, not even a prayer. Is this one of those cases where they're just putting somebody in there and they have better people that aren't ready yet or that they don't think can win? It's just they're going to try to run on a popularity contest here because Ruth knows a lot of people and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Now back to this Frank DeLuca guy, Frank Mamaluca. He challenged me. I love Facebook. It's a never-ending source of entertainment. So after I told him what I thought about candidate Newestake, he told me all the great things about her. Yeah, all the great things about her. And I said, nonsense. That's not right. And then he challenged me to a debate on the radio. He's going to debate me. Frank, listen to me. Look at me, Frank. Look at me. Listen to me. I don't debate people. This is my opinion, buddy. And you think you're going to come in the studio and debate me? And you're going to change my mind? What are we, in grade 8 here? We're going to have a debate. And then we're going to have a spelling bee. How do you spell Newestake? I wonder if Frank can even spell it. I don't know. Pretty tough. But he wants a debate. No, Frank, we're not doing a debate. These are my opinions. That's it. You like them, you don't like them. That's all. There's no debate. Debate? What do you join the Toastmasters if you want to debate? There's a debate. What the Katsu debate? No, I'm not debating you, Frank. I'm not debating you on the radio. No. You have your opinion. I have my opinion, and that's perfect. That's the way it goes. And the results will be the final judge. And if she wins, I'll congratulate her. And if anything I can do to help her, I'll do it. And then I'll watch what happens. That's it. No debating. What are you debating? You're going to change people's minds? No, believe me, Wayne Gates is a popular guy. He's been in for a couple terms, 3 terms or whatever it is now. I never looked it up. You're not going to beat him. Very hard to beat. You got to pull some rabbit out of your hat. And you know what? If it was a liberal candidate, I'd say, yeah, maybe she's got a shot because the liberals are not in really good favor right now anywhere. But an NDP? No. No. If they voted an NDP in these people, they're sticking with him. They like the guy. What can I tell you? I call him the Frito Bandito. Now, Frank DeLuca also challenged me to name somebody who was better than her. Frank. Bob Gale. Bart Maves. A guy named Jamie Jones, who you may not know, but I do. I've kept in touch with him. He ran for city council in 2018. He's a sharp young guy, was an assistant up at Queen's Park. He knows the ropes. He knows politics. He follows them. He would have been great in a nomination meeting. He was going to run, but they told him he can't. There's another guy, Bob Gale. I mean, come on, Bob Gale. He'd be a great guy. Bart Maves would make a great guy. Chuck McShane, he'd probably make a great guy. I don't know. Maybe Ford can send somebody down from some other territory to run you. There's got to be somebody better. I'll tell you that right now, Frank. So you want to name people? There's a lot of people I could name. And even you, Frank DeLuca. How about him? You seem to know everything about what's going on with the city and that in politics. You seem to be a pretty big student of it. So I think you would make a better candidate. I'd vote for you. I'll tell you that. So yeah, we're not having a debate. We're not having a debate. I'm not here to debate. I'm here to give my opinion, not to debate my opinion. But there is one guy that I didn't mention with all these people I'm mentioning, and that one guy that I think would be a great candidate, and I know a lot of people are going to give it to me about this one, is Mayor Jim Diodati. He's the perfect guy. Who's a bigger cheerleader for Niagara Falls? Who's a bigger cheerleader for tourism? Who knows the tourist industry? Is there anybody in Niagara Falls that is any better than Jim Diodati? He's popular. He does a lot of stuff. He's marketing. And Ford likes him. As a matter of fact, Ford called him the real MPP of Niagara. Interesting comment. He's got Ford on speed dial. I mean, this is the guy that should really be running. He should be the guy taking over and running against Gates. And I think he's popular enough to probably beat Gates. That's the guy I would do, Frank. If you want to know who I would really like to see is this Mayor Jim Diodati. And then we get a new mayor for Niagara Falls, so it works out perfect. Hey, I don't know. Am I crazy? I don't think so. And the Stan Cho, the Minister of Tourism, wants to double the tourist industry in the next 10 years. Who would be better than Mayor Jim to help him with that? I know people are going to argue the point, but to me, he's a logical choice. It isn't to be, but he's the logical choice. And like I say, I want to vote for somebody who's qualified, who can do the job. I'm not just giving somebody a position because of the party they're running for. And I think she's a Chino. I think Ruth Ann's a Chino, conservative in name only. I've never seen any conservative values come out of her. Lower taxes and everything else. Woke politics, Chino. But the good thing about here, no matter who gets in there, whether it's Ruth or Wayne or anybody else, Ford still considers the big show the real MPP for Niagara, and gets along good with Jim, and we have that going for us no matter who gets in. We'll see. We only have a month to wait. Well, the Bank of Canada is estimating that if Canada places matching tariffs on the U.S., the Canadian GDP will go down by 6% and the loonie will drop by 25%. Yeah, I'd say that'll happen. I'd say that'll happen for sure. How devastating do you think this would be for the Canadian economy? Well, it's on its last legs now. And instead of trying to negotiate a solution like Danielle Smith out in Alberta, our pathetic list of Canadian politicians think that talking tough is going to yield a favorable result. I mean, what's the matter with these people? You're going to win a trade war with a country that has 10 times the population. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure this one out. Ford, lay off of it. Try to get along. Now, he says he's running because he wants a mandate so that he can negotiate. Well, I'd say he's got a majority now. He doesn't need a mandate. He's got a majority now. Go in and negotiate. What are you doing? You got another year, at least over a year and 3 or 4 months, 15, 16 months of a majority. Go and negotiate it. And then you're going to get reelected anyway if you can do it. What's the difference? I waste 200 million taxpayer dollars. I don't get it. But if they think they're going to push Trump around, they better make a quick phone call to the president of Colombia. That's right. The president of Colombia thought he was going to be a tough guy. And I'm going to tell you what happened to him right after I go to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And Hamel Machine Company, these guys, I had Bob Benner in here, and I was just totally amazed at the things that they do. I thought it was just like a machine shop. They did machining, did some stuff for industry and all that. But these guys are way, way more than that. My goodness, they have equipment they've invented, they designed for agricultural products, and they ship them all over the world. Any big jobs around here, Hamel Machine Shop goes in and takes care of them. You got to lift made of the mist out of the gorge. You got to build a floating platform. You got to build anything. They're really a fabrication shop and do a lot of work for CanEng. They're a one-stop shop, but they're not just big industrial with wineries and that kind of thing. They also do little stuff. You break a piece of metal and you need it welded up and fixed, take it to Hamel Machine Shop. If they can't fix it, they'll actually make you a new part. They have people there that can design and engineer it, reverse engineer it for that matter. It doesn't matter. You need gates for your backyard? Go talk to Hamel. They'll design them and put them in for you. Send them out to get powder coated for you. They'll do everything for you. They do everything from the smallest job for the city when they break a lawnmower. They take the deck over there, they weld it all up, and instead of the city having to spend $3,000, they spend $500 or $600. I mean, they do it all, and they're involved in a lot of different things. And I'm totally impressed by what they have. They have electrical engineers over there, designers. They have everything for big jobs or small. Hamel Machine Company, been around since 1948. They know what they're doing, and they serve industry and us, the general public. You need something done? Just give them a quick call. They'll help you out. Hamel Machine Shop. They're on Kent Street, and they've got a place right over here on Bridge Street, the old Hauser's welding shop that's been expanded, and they do most agricultural products over there now. It's amazing. It's amazing. Hamel Machine Shop, hamelmachine.ca. Go check out their work. They did some beautiful stuff for wineries. I mean, racks and everything else. Yeah, I'm blown away. I'm so glad Bob Benner, the owner, came in and talked with us for a while. I mean, that was a really interesting show. And if you're looking for work, hey, you want to get a career, go see Bob. He'll get you in there, and you can get yourself a career in machining. Places for all kinds of people there. Support our sponsors because they support the show. And the city, by the way, and the city. They run a golf tournament every year and raise money for different causes, sick kids and that. Okay, Bank of Canada screwing us up again here. They're going to, these guys are going to get it now. The Trump effect is being felt and loud and clear around the world. He isn't fooling around with anyone. He's pulled out of WHO. That's right, the fakes that screwed us on COVID. He pulled out of a scam called the Paris Accord. cut funding to NATO, and executed over 200 executive orders, all in 1 week. This guy's done more in 1 week than Biden did in 4 years. Thousands of criminal illegals have been shipped back to where they came from, and tin pot socialists like the president of Colombia found out the hard way not to mess with the United States, with Trump leading the way. 2 military transports were loaded up with illegals from Colombia, sent there, and the Colombians wouldn't let them land. So Trump immediately told them that if they don't take these guys back and let these planes land, they're going to have a 25% tariff on all goods coming out of Colombia. And after 1 week, if they haven't taken them back, they're going to put a 50% tariff on everything. Now, Colombia is the biggest supplier of bananas to the United States, sells 20% of its coffee to the United States, worth well over $2 billion a year of trade, along with avocados, flowers, and crude oil. Now, it didn't take long before the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, got on the blower and said, we're going to retaliate with a 25% tariff. So Trump said, okay, that's great. We're going to cancel all your visas, impose travel bans, displace Colombian diplomats, install banking restrictions, institute enhanced inspections at U.S. Customs and Border sites, and generally just make life miserable for Colombian people and the country and any businesses that want to deal with the U.S. So Gustavo, being in the moment, relented. And he's going to accept all the illegals back now. Not going to put a 25% tariff on the United States. And he's agreed to all President Trump's terms, including unrestricted acceptance of all illegals, aliens from Colombia that are going to be returned by the U.S. and allow military aircraft to deliver them. He saw the light, and he even offered his private jets to come and get them, bring them home. Talk about doing a 180. Now, all the sanctions are going to remain in effect until the first load is dropped off in Colombia, and then everything will be reinstituted if Colombia decides they're not going to play ball. So, a good lesson for anybody who thinks that Trump's messing around, he's fooling around. Trump is not fooling around. He's not playing games with these people. He's 1 week in office and he's doing everything he said. Fetterman got roasted on The View. Fetterman from Pennsylvania got roasted on The View because he went to Mar-a-Lago and met with Trump. And he said, hey, listen, people voted him in. They gave him a majority. They said what he's doing is what they want, and he started doing it right away. He's keeping every one of the promises he made, every one of them. He goes, I got to work with a guy like that. I want to work with a guy like that. I'm here to help the people of Pennsylvania, and everything he's doing is going to help the people of Pennsylvania. How can I not? How can I not listen to him? How can I not back him up? He goes, until we get somebody that the people will accept, which obviously they didn't accept Kamala because they threw her out big time. Hey, he goes, this is it. We got to work with them. And I'm just saying that, man, oh man, if we only had somebody like that would do the same thing in Canada. We have a ton of these illegals here, and legals for that matter. Working against Canadian dealing drugs, pulling off robberies and murders. The worst of society was sent here and had no respect for Canadian laws and customs. So we have 50,000 students, 20,000 from India, who didn't even bother to show up for classes. That's right, they got their student visas, didn't even show up for their first class. And that's what a scam it is. That's what a scam it is. It's just a big scam. We have 1.2 million people whose visas have run out, and they're supposed to be going back. Where are they? Nobody knows. Where are they? We don't know. I have no idea. Who knows how many others that are here illegally we don't even know about? There's probably 2 or 3 million people floating around. All the refugees from Palestine, well, the war's over, ceasefire, they can go home now. Go home and rebuild your country. No threat, no reason that they have to stay here as refugees, and Canadian taxpayers have to fork out money to keep them in hotels and everything. We need somebody to get into government that's going to round all these people up and get rid of them. They're killing us. They're killing us. Killing us. Sometimes literally. Let's round them up. Somebody called me a racist the other day. You're a racist. Because of the guys who did the smash and grab in Penn Center, and they did about 5 more up and down the QEW. I said, go to Bangladesh. Go check it out. They're probably there somewhere, and round them up. And they said, you're a racist. Okay, well, I'm a racist. But meanwhile, he's swearing like crazy, MFer, and he's using every known bug, insulting your mother, and everything he said. Like these guys. Round them all up. Round them all up. Round up the usual suspects. Oh, so Trump also, I hate to stand on Trump, but he's doing so much. You got to stay up with it. He released all documents regarding the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK, all unredacted. No black lines through it, all unredacted. And he has deadlines for the total release of all documents regarding the assassinations, which is something everybody's wanted. Now, I have a link here, if you got a pen, for you to look at yourself. And it implicates LBJ in the plot to assassinate JFK. I'm going to try and go through it all. I've been there a couple times. And as I found out parts, I'll talk about them. No other president has had the balls to release all these files. They all claim they would. And most of these people have told them, no, don't release them. You can't release them. Now he don't care. He's releasing them. Obama said it many times. But now we're going to get to see the real story. He signed the executive order for it, and we're going to get the truth. So what you have to do if you want to look into it yourself, and you may want to, I've been there a couple times. It's a big search. There's a lot of stuff there. Go to archives.gov/research/JFK and look for the release files, which goes by year. The latest being 2023, that's on there right now. In the different year sheet releases, there'll be all kinds of different files. It'll look like a spreadsheet with different agencies and the reports from those agencies. It's going to be tough to tell what every file is about. You just have to become familiar with the files and know what to look for. So as you go through them, you'll see a certain file has information. Now you look for that kind of file again, and so on and so on. And there's no easy way. Nobody's going to just compile it and drop it in a thing where you can see it. But there are people who are going to research it and be posting online, I'm sure. It's going to take a little bit of investigative work to go through it, but it'll be interesting when you find these little morsels. But like I said, somebody probably use AI to get in there and, and put it all together and make the files easier to search so the public will be able to get the true story about these assassinations that really, really in our day changed the world. Everything changed when JFK was assassinated. Everything changed when RFK was assassinated. Everything changed when Martin Luther King was assassinated. So these are big events in our history. Big events in our history. I mean, I'd like to see the real city books so we can see where all our money's going. Wish they would release it. That'd be pretty cool if they did. Now, here's a bizarre story. Coming out of St. Catharines, and man, this is really weird. An educational assistant was charged with assault with a weapon on a kid. His weapon of choice? A blanket. What? Get charged with assault of assaulting somebody with a blanket. I know it sounds bizarre. I guess if you wrapped the blanket around someone's neck and started throttling them, that would be a crime. But I think in this case, the child was removed from the classroom by two other educational assistants after the child, he was under 9 years old, or she, and it didn't say whether it was a he or she, was causing a disturbance in the classroom. And once in the other classroom that they moved this person to, this child to, the 28-year-old assistant allegedly assaulted the child with a blanket. Child wasn't physically injured, but detectives arrested the man and charged him with assault. And assault with a weapon. I don't know. We know if it was a black blanket, now that'd be an assault weapon. Assault blanket, right? That's the way it goes today. But I don't know. Is this an assault with a weapon? I guess if you're whacking a kid with a blanket, I guess it could be called assault, right? Why not? But I don't know. It's a pretty weird way to do it. But you know what? The guy went off the hook, obviously, and we called the cops, and he's getting charged with assault with a blanket. We'll see. This is going to go to courts. We'll see, or whatever, right? We'll see how it works out. Stay tuned for this one, because this is a pretty weird one. I never heard of anything like that before. Now, speaking of a bizarro world, rumors have it that Big Mike and Barack Obama are calling it quits. That's right, a divorce is imminent. Now, Big Mike, you probably call her Michelle, did not show up with Barack at the inauguration ceremony or the funeral of Jimmy Carter. Now, the funeral of Jimmy Carter is a big one. This guy is the Democratic icon. I mean, you don't miss funerals like that if you're in the Democratic Party. Forget about it. Michelle was never there. And I can understand not being at Trump's inauguration. She don't like them at all. But the Jimmy Carter one, it's a little bit bizarre. So who has Barry Soetoro been seen with lately? Hold on to your hats, everybody. Jennifer Aniston. That's right. Apparently Jennifer is a homewrecker. This is hard to believe. I don't know. I have a hard time believing it, since everyone in the know and knows and says publicly that Obama's gay. Everybody says that. So I don't know what this is all about. It's pretty weird. It's an odyssey. We'll see if they get a divorce here and what's going on with Jennifer Aniston. But that's the rumor out there. I can't believe it. But, what do you think? Is it possible? Who knows? So going up to Toronto, never ends up there, right? There's always something up there. So the first hijab wearing Muslim woman elected to Toronto City Council and now Deputy Mayor of Toronto, her name's Ausma Malik, has announced plans to house illegal migrants fleeing the U.S. Since Trump is cleaning house, they're coming to Canada, and she's going to let them in. Now, Toronto's not only a sanctuary city, they are, via this deputy mayor, advocating for citizenship for all illegal immigrants. Or as the woke people in this country call them in Toronto, undocumented residents. Can't call them illegal immigrants, even though they are, and they break the law and they're criminals right away for being illegal here. They're undocumented residents. Interestingly enough, the city doesn't like the fallout of being a sanctuary city and wants the feds to bail them out of the financial shortfall caused by millions of illegals invading the city. 40% of all shelter space is now taken up by asylum seekers, i.e. illegals. 40%. And you wonder why people are on the street, there's homeless? Can't find a place? It's great to want to be a sanctuary city. Those nobler than thou. But they don't want it, can't afford the costs associated with this dumbass idea. And that's the biggest problem. It costs money. And they got to have the money to be able to do it. Now, at the ceremony, the deputy mayor, Malik, warned of a growing anti-immigration sentiment in Canada. And that's a pretty bizarre statement for a woman who wears a hijab, whose parents immigrated to this country, and who was elected to council and appointed deputy mayor. Anti-immigrant sentiment indeed. I mean, if there was, she wouldn't be where she is now. So that's kind of a weird thing for her to say. And of course, the way she says it points to one thing: racism. It always does with these left-wing radicals. Added to her imagined racist and anti-immigrant notion, the fact that Olivia Chow is mayor, the person that named Malik deputy mayor, and that she herself was originally from China and still speaks with an accent, but was elected mayor by the anti-immigrant racist people of Toronto. See how stupid her statements are? If they're anti-immigrant and racist, they would not have elected Olivia Chow. So these people get to these high positions and they cry racism. Well, if that was the case, they wouldn't be where they are. But back to the original story, she wants to allow more refugees into the city that cannot even cope with what they have. And we're suffering this in Niagara Falls too. It's the same thing. I mean, it goes right through Hamilton, Niagara Falls, wherever. It's right across Canada. She says, as we continue to see anti-immigrant rhetoric on the rise in Canada and around the world, we amplify calls from community leaders and advocates for an immediate, broad, and inclusive regularization program that provides pathways to permanent resident status for all undocumented residents. In other words, if you come here, you're going to get a citizenship right away and all the benefits of being Canadian, even though you haven't done anything to or contributed. Together, we will continue to dismantle systems of colonialism and anti-Black racism. So you can see where this is headed. A complete takeover by those who are in the country, illegally breaking every law regarding legal immigration. And it's not immigration, it's an invasion, trying to take over Canada, led by foreign nationals and domestic terrorists. If you want to call a spade, that's what you're going to say. And the woke liberal bleeding hearts are allowing it to happen with people like Malik in power. So, once again, where has my President Trump gone? Where can we find a leader who's going to step on this and stop it? And bring some sanity back to Canada. I mean, in one generation, Canada is not going to be Canada anymore. It barely is now. And we're headed down a path that takes us to a bad place. Look around. You can see it with your own eyes. Believe me, becoming the 51st state does not seem like a bad idea, does it? And we need somebody to really, really get in there and really straighten a lot of things out that are going on. We really do. Obviously, it's not anybody in the Liberal Party. They are the ones who created the problem. And make no mistake, you can never hire people who created the problem in the first place to solve it. They're never going to solve it. You can never do that. So my thing is, what's this guy doing? He's wearing colors and he's got a rocker and everything. But anyway, I don't know. Something's got to happen in Canada. We need an election. We got to get rid of Trudeau. We got to get somebody in there with common sense and who's going to straighten a lot of this stuff out. And if we could just find somebody that'll follow what Trump's doing in the States, it would make it a lot better and would get along with Trump, because as Trump moves ahead and the United States moves ahead, they will pull us with them. They will pull us with them. Anyway, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice. I'm getting out of here. There's a whack of people coming into the studio. I don't know what they're here for. Maybe they're here to attack me. I don't know. But they are in the studio. They're coming in. I'm out of here at 1. It's time to go. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Thank you so much for your tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow with Absolutely. And then on Thursday with Straight Talk Thursday, we're going to hammer this a little bit more and get some viewer comments on the air. Take care. My name is Paul K. Lemire. Your City, Your Voice. 4680 Q Radio. downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy, and God bless you all.